adult dog doing some retrieving in water. Hi, my name's Charlie Thorburn. On this week's video, we're going to get Goose out and we're going to do some retrieve training where he's a steady dog. He knows how to sit and wait and behave, but we're going to do it into water. He's not done much swimming before. He's done a little bit, but nothing too much. He's quite a sensitive dog, so we're going to see how it goes. Now, I've just been out with Tess. Some of you may have seen that video before. So I'm absolutely soaked from going out with the puppy. I'm hoping I don't get quite as wet again. And by the end of this video, hopefully I'll be drying off, not getting more wet. So I'm going to get Goose out the back here and we're going to head down to the lock here. It's a great bit of training to do on a lovely warm day. My team have already been down here this morning. I think they were down here yesterday. They were definitely down here a couple of times over the weekend. We hook the trailer on the dog trailer on the back of the buggy and we bring a whole team of dogs and they have a lovely time splashing around, having fun. We put them all away and then we do some individual training with the ones that need it. But it's about when you're introducing them to water, if they're going to be shy at all, it's about them just having some fun. And many a time over the years, we've gone swimming with the dogs to encourage them to come with us. So let's get Goose out. Goose, Goose. Goose, here. Sit. So Goose is he's just over one. His mum's Biscuit. Granny is Crunchy, great granny's Silly, great granny's Nala, great granny's Flirt, like very much many generations of our Labradors. He's a beautiful looking dog. He's a lovely, soft, biddable dog. And his new home is down in Sussex. He's one of those dogs you sort of think, oh, maybe I should have kept him. But he's got a great life ahead of him. So we're just going to do his last bit of training before he heads home at the weekend. Goose? So all the training going down to water is exactly the same as if you're going out to the field. The difference is I'm not wearing any shoes because I'm going to be splashing around with the water with him, or I might need to help him. I might need to go and rescue him if he gets in a panic. So I'm always kind of thinking about the dogs, not like how I look. I've never really worried about how I look, luckily, because it's not a great look. But that's the reason that my top half is the same and my bottom half is rather different to normal. But the rules are the same whether they're retrieving out of water or in land. So walking him to heel to down there, throwing the retrieve in, making him wait, and then sending him. Often you'll find a dog that's steady on land, gets to water and it's like, whoa, it's water, and they're a little bit less steady. So always revert back to kind of early stage training, standing in front of the dog, throwing it over your head, maybe even popping them on a lead, but making sure you get success and you don't get your dog in the habit of thinking, oh, I'm in the water. If I run in, there's absolutely nothing anyone can do about it because I'm already 30 feet out in the sea or out in the river or out in the loch. So we've got to be thinking ahead. We've always got to be thinking, how are we going to stop him running in? How do we stop this being a problem? I had a really funny story that I can tell you. Many years ago, I had a lady come up to see me and she had a black Labrador who was really steady on a chute, would sit on a peg off the lead. Awesome. As soon as there was anything near water, the dog would run in. And so she came up from training and sure enough, threw a retrieve into the pond. Dog just left her side, took off, ran in. Having had 10 retrieves on the land, never moved a muscle. So she threw one more, and as the dog ran in, I ran into the pond afterwards, grabbed the dog, pulled her back out again. The dog got such a shock of this big ugly bald guy grabbing her out of the pond that she never ran in again. But the point is the dog learned, oh, even in the water I can still be corrected and I can be brought back, and the rules are the rules. And the lady was forever grateful. Anyway, I digress. Let's wander down there with Goose and see what he's going to get up to. We're using a specific water dummy, a plastic dog and field water dummy for retrieving. They just float better. The dogs they float above the line of the water rather than the traditional dummies tend to sit slightly on the line. They're harder for the dog to see. Heel, Goose. Freddie and I have always had great ideas about making this into a water slide. Goose. Well, I don't think we're going to have any problem with Goose's swimming, are we? Goosey, come on. Goose, come on. Goose has already taken himself into the water, so I know he's going to be keen. So I'm very much setting myself up for success here, putting myself here. I'm going to throw the dummy in there. As I throw it in, I'm going to be watching him, making sure he sits and stays. We're super lucky, one, with the weather we've had, but also that we've got this. This is 100 acres. We got this on our doorstep. It's surrounded by private farmland, so no one really else can get here. So we're normally down here on our own. I think I've once seen someone else walking around here. So we're super lucky. On our way over here, Joe and I saw a pair of oyster catchers nesting. I saw a leveret, a young, very, very young leveret this morning. So it's a pretty awesome place to live. I'm pretty lucky, and I remind myself about it every day. Sit, sit, sit. Do you see he was just lifting his bottom off the ground? So I'm just insisting that he waits. He looks at me. Goose, Goose, get out, Goose. He fires straight in. His swimming technique isn't ideal. He's got his bottom on the sinking down. There we go. He's settling into it a little bit now, but he definitely needs a little bit of practice. Now, when he comes out the water, I don't want him to drop the dummy, so I take it off him fairly quickly, and then I step back, shake, and I say the word shake. Okay, now he's going to do it anyway, but it's a bit like telling a puppy to have a wee. They then soon learn to shake on command, and then, because what you don't want is you don't want your dog coming out the water, dropping the dummy, or doing that and shaking with the dummy, or let alone with the bird. We want them to come out and give it to us. As his training develops, I'll move further and further up the bank, so he has to rush out the water and bring it back to me. But at the moment, I'm just looking to take it off him and say the word shake. So as he shakes, he hears the word shake. It's really useful because it stops the dog shaking until you've got the retrieve. It's also really useful when they get good of it, because you can walk the dog into the middle of a group of your friends, take 2 paces backwards and tell them to shake. And the dog shakes, and all your friends who are having a gin and tonic or slow gin at lunchtime or whatever all get absolutely soaked. And it's very amusing for someone simple like me. Sit. So what I'm going to do with Goose this time is, as he comes out the water, I'm just going to run a little bit further. I'm going to be heading up the bank there, so he's got to come up the bank to me, and I'm going to be encouraging him so that he comes out the water without shaking and comes up the bank. I'm very much fast forwarding this. This is not something I would do normally on a second retrieve, but I feel like I can do this with little Goose. So there, so now, sit. He tried to go, and I had to stop him. If that was a normal dummy on land, I would walk over there and get it. I don't really fancy that today. So I'm going to leave it. So I've got a few options. I might make him sit here longer. I might walk him up there. I might walk him back again. I might just make him pause and talk to the camera, just so he understands. It depends on the dog, and it depends how keen they were to break for the retrieve, how keen they were trying to get the retrieve. He had a little movement. I put him back, and now he's sitting here really calmly, so it's not worrying me too much. But it's something I've got to think in my mind. Even though he's a super steady dog, when it comes to water, he thinks the rules are maybe slightly different. Get out. So as he goes in, I'm heading up the bank so that he has to come and find me and catch me up. So I'm not waiting until he gets it. I'm already up here. There's a little bit of panicking. Come on, Goosey. Come on, Goosey. Not enough to worry about, but just by encouraging him. Good boy. Good boy, Goose. 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 Shake. Good boy. So we've already got him retrieving 25 meters out of the water, not dropping it, not shaking, and shaking sort of on command when he gets up here. So you can see the process. Now, as I was coming out of the water, as he was coming out of the water, I wasn't just here waiting for him. I was very much, come on, Goose, come on, Goose, come on, come on. I was really making a big thing. So all he was thinking as his feet hit the ground, still in the water, all he's thinking about is rushing up the bank to me. He's not thinking, oh, this water's making me feel a bit heavy, a little bit itchy, I want to get rid of it. He's just like, oh, I've got to get up to Dad. So we do this at home in our little pond. We do the same here. Now, we're then looking at thinking, well, now we're up here, maybe we'll do a longer retrieve from here into the water. So I'm going to throw it from up here, and I'm going to send him from here. Goose, come here. So when I'm sitting him down, I'm making sure that he can see what I can see. Sit. Sit. If I do say so myself, that is a seriously good looking dog. Get out. So now he's got to run down the bank, enter the water, which he's done really, really well. His swimming, as I say, still needs some work. He's swimming like a bit of a wally, but he'll get there. But we're always watching him. Good boy, Goosey. And if he starts to get in a panic, you know, we're always willing to jump in the water and help him. Because, you know, we'll do anything for these guys. Come on then, Goose. Good boy. Good boy, Goosey. Good boy. Good boy, Goosey. Good boy. Good boy, Goosey. Good boy. Shake. What you've always got to remember when you're throwing a retrieve, whether you're on land, throwing into water, whether you're down by the water, or whether you're in a game crop or something, you've got to think what I can see from up here is different what the dog can see. So I always tend to kind of put my head down to the dog's vision so that I can see what they're seeing over, because this isn't about making it complicated for Goose. This is about getting a nice straight out pick, straight back, and building up his confidence. Further down the line, yes, I might want to be doing it with some obstacles in the way to teach him to be more useful, a more smart, useful gun dog, but at the moment it's about helping him. So we're going to just sit him down, make sure he stays, launch another one into the water, sit. As soon as I throw it, I turn back and watch the dog, because I don't care where that is. It's in the water, it's pretty blooming obvious, it's white and it's floating around over there. What I want to do is make sure I can see the dog. Goose, get out, get out. And he's got his eye on as soon as he goes down to water. The advantage of being up high like this as well is as the dog's going towards the water, they can already see the duck, the dummy, the retrieve, whatever it is. If you're on the water level already when the dog goes in, then it's harder for them because they haven't got the angle to look down at the water. Come on, Goose, you're doing well. Come on. It definitely reminds me of my kids trying to do doggy paddle. You know, they're getting there, but it needs some work. We're not Olympic standard yet here, Goosey. Good boy. Now his feet are just hitting the ground. Good boy, Goose. Good boy, Goose. Good boy, Goosey. Good boy. Good boy. Shake. Just gives myself a little bit of chance to step back without him, because I'm just starting to dry off from my session earlier with the puppy. With dogs, there's a thing called swimmer's tail. And it's when their tail that's normally out here hangs limp. And it's basically because they've strained the muscles in their lower back from over-exercising. It can happen when they're on the land, but it happens much more often when you're doing swimming with them, especially in the cold, because the cold water, overuse of these muscles that maybe aren't that well used because they don't get enough practice, and their tail goes limp. It's just you guys have overdone it. Dog needs a bit of a rest. No walks, just lots of quiet time at home, no retrieving, no training, and their tail will come back up in a couple of days. It's like having a little strained muscle, a little tight hamstring type of a thing, but it looks very sad because the lovely waggy Labrador tail goes completely limp. So really important. We've done a few retrieves. He's done really well. So we would stop now before we cause him any strain or he starts to tire and swim even worse, which we can just see starting to happen. Remember, you get out what you put in. Goose has just done 4 or 5 really lovely retrieves, a couple of quite long ones at the end there. We don't want to push it too much. We want him to think, I love swimming and I want to come back and do it again. Hopefully you've learned something. We'll see you all next time.